Welcome back to Daytime Ottawa. Ottawa Fringe Festival back again from June 15th to the 25th. And you know what I love about this is you're going to see a lot of performances you wouldn't otherwise see in any other setting. It happens at Arts Court, which is a great venue, by the way. And there are so many things that are going on at one time. It's just a magical time of year for people to come into, whether you're local or whether it's an artist coming in from another city, another country. They get to showcase to you some of their incredible talents. And my next guest is absolutely multi-talented. I am joined by Kaylie Kreatrix. She is a performer at the Ottawa Fringe Festival. Welcome, great to have you here.
Thanks so much.
Let's talk a little bit about your creative, your artistic background.
So I'm a circus artist, self-employed circus artist, and I do a range of things from juggling to fire to sword swallowing. And I'm kind of mixing all that together along with storytelling and dancing at my Fringe show.
Where did the inspiration come from? Did you go to school for this?
I took courses for in circus arts, but it wasn't any formal training. It was just a passion of mine, and it slowly grew from a hobby into my job.
Did you start doing it like as a young child?
No, I was about 20 years old when I started. Yeah.
That's fascinating. So did you do any theater or anything in the arts up until that point?
Yeah, I did music and dance when I was younger. Yeah.
Let's talk about this particular performance.
Yeah.
What can people expect from your performance?
So, as you can see, my getup here, I'm wearing a kimono that is my family's heirloom kimono, and my performance is all about kind of my journey of self-discovery back to my roots, back to my Japanese heritage, and I talk about the history of Japanese Canadians here in Canada, kind of the hardships they lived especially during World War II, and how that still affects the community, still affects me today. And yeah, so I have that storytelling and I mix it in with circus acts. Yeah.
Okay. You're going to give us a little example, though, today, right? Yeah. So I wanted to do it sooner rather than later so that we don't run out of time. So I'm going to step aside here and I'll just leave the stage to you, okay? Take it away.
Oops.
Very nice. Thank you very much. That was great. Thank you. I want to go back to sword swallowing because I'm always fascinated. I mean, what is the first moment that you decide and what is the first sort of sharp instrument you begin with?
You know, this is a pretty common question that I get asked, and I always tell people it didn't start with sword swallowing. So I started with other sideshow arts like fire eating or blockhead, which is where you can hammer like a nail up your nose. So bed of nails, lying on a bed of nails. You know, these are a bit more entry-level sideshow arts, and then
those are entry level. Okay. Okay.
And then I kind of graduated, we could say, to sword swallowing, and I learned from a very good sword swallower, so it's not something to try at home by yourself. It's something to learn from a trained professional.
What sort of discipline is necessary? Because I imagine the mental part of it is just as important, if not more important, than the physical.
100%, yeah. And I'd say that's a lot of circus, actually. The focus needed, the kind of control of your body. You know, in sword swallowing, it's a lot about knowing your posture, knowing how to relax in an uncomfortable situation, but you can watch, you know, someone spinning up in the air and it looks graceful, but it's so uncomfortable, you know?
Really?
And so it's just part of circus arts, really. Yeah.
I hope I don't mispronounce this, but you also do something called Dai Kagura.
Yeah.
Tell me what that is.
Yeah, so Dai Kagura is a traditional Japanese performance art. So it dates back 1,000 years or something, back to Shinto shrines, and they would perform a bit like I did here, balancing parasols or teacups, basically taking the normal and making it extraordinary. And so in that way, it was seen as a form of worship, actually, to the Shinto spirits.
Whenever I've performed on stage, I've always had the security blanket of somebody else. So I used to do like murder mystery dinner theater, for instance, right? Where you would have, other actors, and I always felt like, that's a bit of you doing these performances on your own. Tell me what it's like sort of creating a solo performance and being the only one up there. What's that experience like?
Yeah, well, I can relate so much because I used to really hide behind my objects or, the circus that I was doing. If I'm eating fire, people aren't going to be looking at, my posture or whatever. I can kind of hide behind that. But in this show, I really pushed my boundaries and I've practiced talking to people, and which I find so vulnerable as someone who typically, won't talk, and I'll just do some skills.
Really?
Yeah, so that's how I kind of pushed myself in this show and how I am able to sustain a hour-long show by myself is I involve storytelling and talking to the audience, but that's been really hard for me.
So is there interaction then with the audience
There
at all?
is a bit, yeah. Okay. There's a part of the show I teach everyone how to fold an origami paper crane.
Nice.
Yeah, so everyone can walk home with a little souvenir. And yeah, I try and keep it casual, kind of personable, a bit less showy.
Right. You have a number of performances throughout Ottawa Fringe, right?
I do, yeah. I'm doing 8 shows.
Excellent.
Yeah, so I opened June 15th, and my last show is June 24th.
Well, really appreciate you coming and sharing some of your skills with us. Again, I'm so disappointed we couldn't do the sword swallowing, but it's a family show, We've got to be careful here. Thanks again, Kaylie. Really appreciate it. Congratulations again. Ottawa Fringe Festival from the 15th to the 25th, and Kaylie is performing between the 15th and the 24th, 8 shows. You can visit ottawafringe.com for all the details.